Welcome back, students, to part 28 of our Masterclass Explainer. Real quick before we dive in, if you are enjoying this lesson, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel and share it with friends for this free course on Decode Healthcare with Harshal. Okay, today is a big day. We are finally putting the last puzzle pieces together in our ICD-10 PCS coding journey by mastering the 6th and 7th characters, devices, and qualifiers. So, let's just get right into it.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with an intro and recap, move into Character 6 device rules, then hit Character 7 qualifier rules. After that, we'll run through some real-world examples and wrap it all up with a summary and teaser.
Section 1, Intro and Recap.
Now, as you already know, every single ICD-10 PCS code is exactly 7 alphanumeric characters long. Literally no more, no less. Over our previous 27 explainers, we've meticulously built out this foundation. Character 1 tells us our section, like medical and surgical. Character 2 zeroes right in on the body system. Character 3 defines the root operation, the real core objective of the procedure. Character 4 gives us the specific anatomical body part, and Character 5 dictates the approach used by the physician. These first 5 characters perfectly set the stage, but the story isn't quite over yet.
Okay, let's dive into Section 2. Character 6, Device Rules. When you hear the word device, your brain might immediately jump to, heavy metal equipment or some complex machinery. But in ICD-10 PCS, the definition is actually uniquely precise. A device is defined as any material, item, or appliance that remains in or on the patient's body after the procedure is totally complete. Think about that for a second. If a surgeon uses a temporary tool, like a scalpel or a retractor, and they take it out before closing the patient up, that is absolutely not a device for our 6th character. It has to stay with the patient.
To help you logically group these things, the system classifies devices into a few core categories. First, we have grafts and prostheses. These could be autologous, meaning tissue taken directly from the patient's own body, or they could be synthetic substitutes like carbon fibers. Then we have implants. We also have simple or mechanical appliances. And finally, electronic appliances, which covers things like cardiac pacemakers and defibrillator leads. Getting this wrong, say miscategorizing an implant as a simple appliance, is a massive cause for rejected insurance claims and billing kickbacks. So getting to know these broad buckets is totally crucial for your success.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're saying, Harshal, surgical notes are full of crazy brand names. Am I really going to have to memorize all of them? Absolutely not. Operative reports will often list highly specific proprietary names, like an axial lift system or an Ultra Pro plug. But you don't need to be a medical supply rep to code these. The golden rule here is the device aggregation rule. You simply bookmark the appendix device key in your ICD-10 PCS manual, and it will effortlessly map those specific trade names straight back to the general PCS device values. It's literally an answer key right at your fingertips.
But what happens when the surgeon doesn't leave anything behind? What if it's just a straightforward appendectomy? Well, enter the rule of Z. Because every single ICD-10 PCS code must be exactly 7 characters, we always need a placeholder when a specific data point just doesn't apply. So, if there's no device left in the body, your 6th character is simply the letter Z, which literally just means no device. It's a vital, mandatory placeholder that keeps our code structurally sound.
Moving right along to Section 3, Character 7, Qualifier Rules.
I want you to think of the 7th character, the qualifier, as the ultimate wildcard. Because this coding system is so brilliantly designed for future expansion, this qualifier slot is essentially reserved to capture any additional, highly specific details regarding the nature, technique, or purpose of the procedure that the first 6 characters just couldn't accommodate. Basically, it's the final polish on your code.
So what kind of details are we polishing up here? Well, while a lot of codes won't actually need a qualifier and they'll simply just take a Z for no qualifier, when they do need one, it's often to describe things like diagnostic versus therapeutic intent. It might specify the exact destination site in a complex coronary bypass, or, say, in obstetrics. It might specify that a delivery required a forceps extraction. It's basically a fantastic catch-all for crucial clinical context.
Now, I want you to pay special attention to this specific coding guideline because it is a frequent trap on exams and in real-world audits. How exactly do we code a biopsy? The rule explicitly states that biopsy procedures are coded using the root operations excision, extraction, or drainage, but they are combined specifically with the qualifier diagnostic. In the medical and surgical section, that diagnostic qualifier is usually represented by the letter X.
It completely changes the intent of the code from just a standard tissue removal to a highly targeted diagnostic investigation.
All right, let's put this into practice. Section 4, Real-World Coding Examples.
Let's step right into the coder's seat for a minute. We are tasked with coding a coronary artery bypass graft, commonly known as a CABG, involving one site via an open approach using an autologous artery graft.
Let's construct this step by step. Step 1, characters 1 through 5. We're in medical and surgical, which gives us 0. Heart and great vessels is 2. The root operation bypass is 1. The body part is coronary artery one site, which is 0. And the approach is open, which gives us a 3. So that's 0, 2, 1, 0, 3. Now for step 2, character 6. The surgeon used a graft from the patient's own body, right? So our device character is 1 for autologous artery graft. Finally, step 3, character 7. Are there any other wildcard details needed here? Nope. So we use our trusty placeholder Z for no qualifier. Our final perfect code is 0210331Z.
Let's tackle one more scenario, a diagnostic liver biopsy. Imagine a physician needs to inspect liver tissue to rule out pathology.
Here is exactly how we break it down. Step 1. We are in medical and surgical, the hepatobiliary system, the root operation is excision, the body part is the liver via a percutaneous approach. Now, step 2, character 6. Does a needle or a piece of the liver stay inside the patient permanently? No, of course not. So our device character is simply Z for no device. Finally, step 3, character 7. Because the sole objective of this excision is to test the tissue, we must apply that golden rule we just talked about. The qualifier is X for diagnostic. So here we beautifully utilize both the Z placeholder and the X wildcard in the exact same code.
Section 5, Summary and Teaser.
Okay, so your crucial takeaways for today are this. First, the 6th character is exclusively for devices, items, grafts, or appliances that literally stay in or on the body after the surgery is totally done. Second, the 7th character is your qualifier. That's the wildcard that captures vital intent, like a biopsy, or specific technique variations. And third, whenever either of those characters doesn't apply to a procedure, the letter Z acts as your required structural placeholder.
Congratulations! You now have the power to build all 7 characters of an ICD-10 PCS code. But let me leave you with a bit of a provocative question to think about. How do we code a surgery that involves multiple distinct procedures all at once, or even worse, gets canceled halfway through? That is exactly what we are going to tackle in Part 29, Multiple Procedures and Discontinued Operations. If you are enjoying this lesson, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and share it with friends for this free course on Decode Healthcare with Harshal. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next masterclass.